All right, so we're going to take two images. Two calla lilies, or they're single calla lily on two different backgrounds, a gray and a white. Now it's a little off-white because I'm shooting on a white piece of paper, which is pure white, but then you don't always, unless you blast it, it's not 100% white, it's just a tad off the white, which is okay. The gray, again, is pretty close to 50% gray. It may not be 100%, and I think there's a way I can show you here to see if it's exactly 50%, but it's close enough. Remember, it's this is like, you know how you build, or you make a pie and you throw a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Grandma's recipe is a little bit of just kind of spontaneous approach to the feeling approach to maybe making a pie. That's kind of how I do Photoshop. And remember that it's the end result that we want. It doesn't have to be like so technical that, you know, it has to be exactly 50% gray. It's close enough. So we have a white, a calla lily on white, and then we have a calla lily on gray. All right, so I've made them into black and white just to make it simple right now, and I've also already created a mask, which I just did by hitting my quick select and hit the select subject. So it's really quick. And then I take the shift key and block it out. All right, so here's my textures. I say my textures, my favorite textures, Joel's favorite flypaper textures, but also in here I've thrown in my, let's see, where's my textures? Oh no, missions textures. Those are my missions. These are the ones I have built. These are Joel Grimes textures, and here's a group of them. I'm going to give you these textures gratis for being a part of the Still Life Masterclass, and I've got a couple other ones I'm going to throw in there also that I've built. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's just go over to Flypaper, flypapertextures.com, and I use a bunch of these. I love these textures. So let's go. I'm going to double click on that one, and let's go back to Bridge here. We're going to pick a couple of them up. Let's take this one. It's a light one. Let's get another dark one. I like this one a lot too. Okay, all right. That's good enough. Now we can always go back and get more. All right, so here we have, let's go to the gray. So let's take this one. We're going to hit the V key, pick it up, bring it over and drop it onto this image. Now you can see the texture's a smaller image size. It's not the exact same size. It's a JPEG. Some of the JPEGs that you get from like Flypapers are going to be a little bigger. So they because they build them over time, and our resolution cameras are getting bigger and bigger. This one I've extended the background, so it's actually more like, would be probably like a 70, 80 megapixel capture. So it's a big file. But I'm not worried about that. So we're going to rotate this. So Command T, we hit the control down and say rotate counterclockwise. I'm not worried about that because it's a texture. I'm going to, from here, I'm going to hold the shift key down and just bring it into the same size. I've rezzed it up again. It's not the end of the world because it's a texture. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the mask and just pull it up to it. And then we're going to change the blending mode to, you guessed it, overlay. So let's go through and see what multiply does. Multiply really darkens it. Let's see, screen, kind of funky, lighten it, no. So overlay or soft light are my two. So let's stick with overlay for now. Now we got a black and white, we got a color background. So let's take, and we're gonna make the black and white, the background black and white also. All right, so look how quickly I've created a kind of cool background, but I'm not done with that yet. So we are going to make a vignette. So go to levels. We go over here to the gradient, a little on the bar tool here. It's the gradient tool. And we're going to go to linear. No, we're going to go to circular, which is actually their official name is radial gradient. We're going to pull down from the middle. And I had my white as my foreground, so we wanted the black, but so I just go Command I, will flip it. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to pull in the, probably about there. I don't go too far because I'm going to add another texture. Watch this. This is the 10 type texture. Hit the V key, bring it over here, let go, and same thing. We're going to come over here, Command T. We're going to pull it. We're going to go outside a little bit because it has a little white line around it. I know that from past history. So we're going to come outside of the border just a tad. Now, this time I'm going to show you without the mask for a second. So we go down to Overlay. And then you'll see that that texture, let's zoom in, is on the calla lily a little bit. That may not be a bad thing. Kind of gives it a grunge over the whole thing, but we can take this mask we've already made, but I want to duplicate it, so I hold the Option and the Command both down at the same time, pick it up and drop it. And now I have the calla lily pure clean with no texture. Let's take I'm going to hit the Shift key on the bottom texture here. What does that do to the calla lily? Kind of gives a little bit of a grunge thing. And that might be a good thing. We could also take, and I'm not going to complicate it too much, but go to, no, we got a blank layer. Shift Command N. We're going to go blank layer. We're going to put it between the background and the texture. I think that's right. Make a white brush. We're going to hold down the Option and make it super soft. Hit Return. I use the right click to do that. And then we'll make a big, hold down the right bracket key. And if I wanted, I could slightly, let's go to maybe 18%. Tap. It's going to take us time because it's a big file. So I can add a little value behind the, let's take and put a mask on there too. So let me grab my mask. And now it's just behind it. So I can add, I can model, I can shape, I can do all sorts of things. I got two textures going here. I can take, let's say I take the bottom texture, pull back the opacity just a little bit. Take the top texture, pull back the opacity just a little bit. Take that white we just did, pull that opacity back a little bit. There's no end to what I can do as a creative artist. So there you have just a quick sort of showing on gray. So now let's go to the white. So let's take, let's try the same texture there, V. We're going to pull over here, let go. We're going to come over here, Command T, hold down the Shift key. We're going to move it over here. And I'm going to do this for you guys a little bit more when I go and sort of really finish off a calla lily or whatever it is, whatever the still life I did. Okay, so let's go and we're going to grab that texture, put it at the top. We're going to take and, so you see there's no shadow there. And that same thing with over here. When you go and do overlay or whatever, it preserves the shadow. That's just so incredible. I'm telling you what. Now there's no shadow here, so it looks kind of flat. But if I go to, let's go to overlay, see what it does. Not a lot going with overlay. Why is that? Because it's white. So what works with white? Well, we know multiply does. Because we did our homework. Multiply is a beautiful blend mode on a white background. So I can feather that out a little bit here. Maybe I go to about there. We can also do a vignette. Go over here, that's the levels. Do my gradient on the radial gradient, pull in the middle. And oops, again, I didn't have my black as my foreground color. We're going to pull that down a little bit. Is that not amazing? Almost exactly the same look that I had with a gray background, only it was a white background. So what does that tell you? There's all sorts of options that you can do later to save your bacon. If you say, oh man, I wish I had a gray background. Oh, that's okay. I can still make that look pretty close to that look. Let's go, and we're going to take that off for a second. We're going to go over here to, I love this one. So let's take the V select tool here and go up to my white, let go. Oh, went too fast, went too fast. I got to get on that layer, Command T. And we're going to go Command T. Oh, I already did Command T. Sorry, I'm talking faster than I can think. That's not, at my age, that's pretty easy to do. Okay, we're going to hit return, and it's going to go there. Let's take and just add a blending mode of multiply. Well, let's see what do some other things do here. Well, the screen doesn't do anything. That's when we work on black. Overlay, actually not bad. Overlay gives me a little teeny bit of the texture, but let's go back to multiply. But it's also onto the calla lily, so I'm going to grab my mask, so Option Command, pull it, duplicate it, drop it on there. We see the shadow still there. Let's go and combine the two here. So we're going to pull this back really light, 28%, 27%. And then maybe we'll take this one and go there. And then maybe we'll take and add a little more vignette. And let's go black and white so we make sure that because there was a little bit of color bleeding through there. So let's take this one out. Actually, I like that. I probably like that better. It's very subtle. Maybe come back here to about there. I'd hang that on my wall. And it's a little blown out here. This is a quick demo. So, what did we use? All three of those? We did. Okay. There's more options. We could go, let's just do one more for grins. Let's go into my texture walls and let's grab, I like this one. Okay, we double click it. We're going to bring it over to here. Let go. I'm going too fast. Let's go back over here, click on that one. And hold the shift key down, bring it to position. This has like kind of brush strokes. This was shot on a wall in either Oxford or a mission in California. All right, so we're going to make the mask up to there, blending mode of multiply, and then let's get rid of that. That's without the vignette, all by itself in the blending mode. Let's go ahead and see what overlay does. Interesting, it only is showing up in the shadows. So hard light gives that, it does show up, but it's very contrasty. Still, multiply is I think the main one I would use, okay? And then we pull it back a little bit in opacity, put the vignette on there. Ooh, that was a little strong on the vignette. Let's pull that vignette back a little bit. And then maybe add this one. Or here's what we can try. Watch this. We're going to go back to 100%. Let's see what that does with overlay. Oh, so hard light. Pull back the opacity. That is the ticket. See? So there's a blending mode that I wouldn't know would work perfectly. I know that hard light gives contrast, right? So it's revealing kind of a grungy corners all of a sudden, and in the mix with that other one, and it kind of got me what I liked very quickly there. I hope you now get a little sense of blending modes. We're going to build and use these all the way through. So if you're a still life photographer, or maybe you've never done a whole lot of still life photography, this is a tool you can use. If you're a portrait photographer like me, you can use these techniques. So you're learning more than just still life stuff in this class. You're learning how to create a look and a vision that maybe you can build a body of work that will end up in a gallery or whatever it is, do a series of portraits and become a little rock star. It's full of much fun. I say a rock star. My wife says, don't use that term. Anyways, you can make a splash with your imagery, and it's all by doing very simple techniques. So from here, I'm going to show you how I build the painterly, Renaissance painterly backgrounds that I did in my the still life with the table. The backgrounds that I've been using, I had to build that. I'm going to show you how I did that.